going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today I got some really exciting news to be sharing with you guys, and that is, of course, that The Walking Dead is now creating a third series to run side by side with the main series, as well as Fear the Walking Dead. This is set to be releasing in 2020, likely the summer of 2020, maybe towards the fall. I don't really know exactly when. They haven't really said exactly when, but just based off of when the other series, premiere and stuff like that, I think it would be around maybe spring of 2020. That probably sounds good to me. They're going to have to shorten, if Fear the Walking Dead does a season 6, which if they don't, then this will work just fine. They'll just have the series play throughout when Fear would play in the summer. But if Fear season 6 happens, they're going to have to shorten the mid-season breaks in between The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead to kind of fit in room for this third series, which I'd be completely fine with. I'd also be completely fine with Fear ending in season 5 and the Fear characters going over to The Walking Dead. I'd be fine with that as well. But let's read what Scott Gimple and Matthew Negrete have to say about the spinoff. That is something to note. Matthew Negrete, who is a very good writer on The Walking Dead, will be the showrunner of this series. Scott M. Gimple is the creator of it, though, apparently. I don't really know how that works. Is he still going to be writing on it? I don't know. I hope he does. I love Scott Gimple's work. I also love Matthew Negrete's work, so I think they'll do a good job. But the synopsis of the series is that the series will feature 2 young female protagonists, which sounds pretty cool. We're getting younger characters as the main characters, which I know a lot of people are probably not going to like because for some reason in the Walking Dead universe, people just hate the children. I mean, I never have a problem with most of the kids in the show, but whatever. It will focus on the first generation of come of age in the apocalypse as we know it. Some will become heroes, some will become villains. In the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. That sounds incredible because that's not something we really focused on. And that means they're going to be going far into the universe because that means they were born in the apocalypse. And they're going to be younger. So I'm assuming they're going to be like 16, 15 maybe. That's probably going to be. So I think we're going to be about 15 plus years into the apocalypse, which sounds incredible. That's further than any other series we've ever been in. I think right now they're like 11 years in the main show. So that's incredible news. He also says, showing audiences an unseen pocket of the Walking Dead universe steeped in a new mythology is a very cool way to celebrate a decade of the dead on TV and over 15 years of Robert Kirkman's brilliant comic, said Gimple in the AMC release. Matthew Negrete is one of the best writer-producers in The Walking Dead's long history. I'm thrilled to be working beside him to tell stories unlike we've seen before, taking our first step into an even larger world. I'm beyond excited to be part of this new show set in the Walking Dead universe, said Negrete. Writing and producing for the original series has been a job of a lifetime, and I'm honored to be working with Scott and all the fine dead folks at AMC in this new capacity. I can't wait for the fans of the franchise to see what we've been cooking up. So I want to mention something that I've been hearing a lot of recently, and I saw it a lot on different posts of this whole news. People have been saying, oh, they're just beating the dead horse. They got to end this series. Why do they keep doing it? The comments to those people are you stupid? Okay, look, you're allowed to have your opinion and all, but you mean to tell me you think a series that is still one of the most popular series on air. Yes, the ratings are a little bit lower. By the way, those are live ratings of people watching them live on AMC in the US. That doesn't account for everyone who watches the show, just accounts for a certain portion of the show. Those ratings specifically are lower than they used to be, but even then, they're still pretty high compared to other shows. It's still like the top 5 most viewed show as of right now, and at one point, at many different points, it was number 1. In popularity, it's still up there. So how is it a dead horse? How are you beating a dead horse? It's not dead. It's still running fast, and it's still going hard. And all they're doing is creating more stories in the universe to tell. Because when there's a lot of need for something, when there's a lot of ask for something, I can't think of the word, but when there's a lot of demand for something, you're gonna get it. That's why Star Wars is still making films. That's why Marvel is still making films. That's why Call of Duty is still making games. That's why all these big companies, that's why Game of Thrones is still doing prequels and stories after they finish their main series. That's why Breaking Bad is still making shows and they're doing a movie even. It's because there's demand for it. It was one of the most popular shows at a time. It was very loved by a big majority of a big community. So they're going to continue it. The Walking Dead still has a massive community. So obviously they're going to continue different series revolving around it. Obviously they're going to continue movies outside of it. 2020 is going to be huge for The Walking Dead. We have The Walking Dead Season 10. We have Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 if they decide to do Season 6. We have this series premiering. It's Season 1. We have the Rick movies. If you want to count the comics, we have the comics. We're going to still be releasing new issues. We have the novels. I don't know if they're still doing novels, but if they do a novel, then they do more novels. We have Skybound. We'll likely be coming out with another Walking Dead story within the next year or so because they finished their whole Clementine story. So they said something that they're continuing the story in the future. So we are still getting stories from The Walking Dead because there's so much to tell because it's such a popular show. It's not going to end for a long time. The main series, yeah, I can see it ending within the next 10 years for sure. But the universe itself, I don't think it's ever going to end because there's never going to be a point where there's no more stories for them to tell. They have so many more stories they can tell. They can go to other countries. They can go to different areas of the world. They can go with different characters. There's always different characters that they can focus on, you know? They're doing two young females. We haven't really had a story centered around two young females. I guess aside from Clementine, she was a young female. But this is going to be probably a much smaller scale than the main show. The main show is a big, wide open universe with all these communities. I feel like this show is going to be more centered around these characters in a smaller capacity, which I'm fine with. I think we need a little bit of diversity in story. We don't need the same story to be told. And I'm glad that we're getting a different story. It's being filmed in Virginia, by the way. Virginia's got some cool landscapes. We don't know where the show is going to be set, though. I don't think it's going to be set in Virginia, but if it is, then obviously they're pretty close to the main show, so maybe they'll have some crossovers there. Do I want any crossovers? I don't know. I don't really need any crossovers, but I wouldn't really mind them either. I just hope it's really good, and I think it's going to be amazing just because the fact that Matthew Negrete and Scott Gimple are working on it. That just gives me a lot of hope. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about this third spinoff in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.